Is the art of chivalry canceled in today's society? Has the lack of courtesy affected buying black?
As I was going to different places and seeing that there was somebody that actually came to work that day, I started telling people, thank you for showing up.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the fact that you're here. And sometimes you could see them kind of a little more cheery, a little more positive, a little more upbeat because that feedback. And I do more of that now since I have more time. Wherever I go, there's certain places I go, I mess with the people there. There's a guy at that Walgreens. There's a guy, he's tall, and I said, us big fellas got to stick together. As soon as I come in there, he starts yelling out. Because it's like a report. If I'm going to see you on a regular basis, our people, we're going to chop it up.
Yep.
I'm trying to be as positive as possible, trying to uplift the day, because you never know. It may be days I may come in there.
The story of civility, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I love my black businesses. I love them, much like you, especially if I know you. I'm not asking for a discount. I'm not asking for you to do anything special, but I would love to boost people up. Just like, hey, I bought this whatever from this person. Let's go. But what a lot of my brothers and sisters forget that civility is a two-way street.
Yes, it is.
And just because you get it now, and this is kind of one of those weird things where we jump into the topic we talked about before, where we build you up to break you down, because I've seen that in some of my black businesses because they feel they gotta act a certain way, or they gotta mimic this person who may not look like us.
They not like us.
And then they're like, oh man, you selling out, you're doing this, because they put boundaries or they have a standard that I'm not going to give you a discount because we grew up on the same street or we know each other.
But see, that's some of the self-hatred that you don't ask them for discounts when you go out. You know
That's what it is.
That's the part. That's the other part. That's the part I don't like. In terms, you don't behave like that with them. Why are you bringing all that in here?
Because we made the Faustian bargain.
A Faustian bargain is a bargain, pact, deal, agreement, or compromise in which a person gives up their moral or ethical values in exchange for some benefit, such as power, knowledge, etc.
We are black excellent. You have some excellent stuff behind the counter. I want that. I want that as a discount because we went through the struggle together. Come on, give me 50% off.
Why I got to re-enslave you with some nonsense like that? We have to give each other more respect and more deference because of what, in my opinion,
but you're right.
And collectively, how we have to move out of it. We can't continue the cycle by doing stuff like you, even little stuff like that. That's assaulting. That's embarrassing. That's stressful. We don't ask why. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what that's where the civility comes from.
They may be struggling, and you trying to get them to give you 10 or 20. Come on.
No, you gotta have that civility.
Especially not doing volume with them.
As a customer and as a buyer and as a seller. That's why it goes back two ways, because they're going to give you that civility because, well, they want you to buy stuff. They're going to be nice. They're going to be charming. You probably get a couple smiles that you don't deserve or what have you because they want that civility. But the deal is you have to match that same thing too, where it's just like, okay, the price is the price. Thank you. I will be back or whatever. Even if I'm here one time, I'm going to play that price.
Right. So the demeanor is important too. Not just the customer, but on the person behind the counter in terms of.
It's a two-way street.
One of the things I learned in corporate, just working with a lot of corporate entities, is that you can't always give somebody what they want, but you can be respectful. So even as you decline something that they're asking for, you can do that in a way which will command their respect. A lot of times, even when people come to you with a complaint, all they want to do is be heard. Like I'm really just little stuff like our people have to master. White folks too, a lot of them, but us in particular, we're dealing with so much. Just little things like, I'm sorry that you had that experience. Is there anything I can do? And just by saying that doesn't mean that whatever they ask for, you're going to say yes. But being empathetic, understanding there's another human being, knowing that if you equal the level, if they come in angry, it's like security we talked about in the man code.
Right.
You see the people that come in there and they're bringing them topics off the street, off the mile, off the bully, or whatever it is.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Red? Thanks for the bike. What you got on my 40, homie?
I thought you had $200.
I do. But I won't spend Red's money.
You don't say, oh, I'm a try and, muscle up and rock up and be just, no, your job is to talk that down Because if you don't talk that down, you don't know what you're going to be doing. They just might have gotten an argument with the baby mama, or something may happen at home, or whatever. They deal with something in their personal life. They're bringing that in there. And the first thing you should do, and Nicole says this is security. This is our people working in service. Walgreens, where you saw me, I do this, they do that. Welcome to Walgreens. You're not just doing that out of being nice. That's part of bringing the person down. That's part of making them feel, that's the story. You come, I'm happy you're here. I wouldn't even have a job if it weren't for you.
Right.
When people find out I'm a hostage negotiator and I work in conflict resolution, you get a look on your face. And when you do, I know you're thinking of those high-stakes scenarios that you see in the movies. How can we use what the experts use in our own lives? And that idea changed my life. After years of study, I came up with 5 universal skills the experts use to resolve conflicts. It's curiosity, their attitude, master listening, connection, and reframing. And while I can't go through all of them here today, what unites these 5 skills is curiosity. The curiosity and resolution. It's epic. It removes the clutter. It eliminates the ability to make excuses and rationalizations. It uses plain language with simple intent. What do you want? And how would you like to get there? When we're in a fight, we knuckle under, we dig in, and we insist and lock into insisting we are right. So the last thing we want to do is be curious about what the other side sees. But that's the key. There's only 2 areas of focus, you and them. So I'd like to focus on you for a minute. And I want to ask you 3 questions that are going to reveal your own little secret about how curious you are in conflict. So I want you to think of a terrible fight. Can you picture it? Question number 1. Did you allow them to have their own story independent of yours? Question 2. Were you willing to hear their story without the emotional or verbal backlash that we are so good at? And number 3, did you allow their story to become part of the solution? You guys, in life-critical situations, high stakes, these are the things we look for. We invite, we ask about. We want to know and learn what is happening on the other side. Focus area number 2 is them. But how can you be curious when it seems like they're the ones causing all the problems? Well, if you want a curiosity breakthrough that will blow your mind, so simple. Go home, find somebody to talk to. Ask them questions for 15 minutes. Just questions. But there's a caveat. No prompts from you. That means no facial expressions showing your opinion. No saying, I get it, I can relate, I understand, and then you begin story swapping or sharing your words of wisdom over your experiences. No noises that come from you. When you do those things, they will almost always change their story. So just ask questions. It is the stronger way of talking to somebody. So be intentional about learning about where the other side is coming from. And instead of digging into your own position and doubling down on that, do the opposite. Ask them about their position. Use that as the start of your curiosity in conflict. Thank you.
Because one of the things I always remind young people, there are certain things, and this was really emphasized with Mrs. Bookkeeper when I was at Ford. That was right after I left you guys. You were graduated. Can't pardon me. She was letting me know that work is work, and you should know this anyway. But sometimes listening to fellow colleagues remind you of that. And I started thinking, you know what? That is true. because she used to tell me I would complain about, there's certain people you go to complain about, just like you went to certain people complain about teachers. I'm complaining about certain colleagues because I'm, department, and certain people in my department, especially the ones that before they got who I was, that had different problems. And she said, just be glad you don't have to take them home with you. When Miss Cosley said that, I started thinking, wow, that's interesting. Because what she's really saying is I'm just coming here to get a little bag.
Yeah.
And if my home life it matches this in terms of whatever stuff I'm dealing with, then that's on me. Because that's my career, that's my home life. Mm-hmm. She said, just be happy you don't have to take them home. Then I started thinking, you know what, this is a job.
Yeah.
So why am I expecting this to be,
I get that.
You come in here, do what you got to do, and you be as respectful as you possibly can, but it's not your home life. I mean, unless you work from home, but my whole thing is, that's why they call it work. That's why I call it a job.
But that's where it goes back down to. A long time ago, I used to work at a corporate job where I was the shift manager. And I'm not going to name the place, but my job was exclusively dealing with complaints. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they taught us about complaints, and I hated this rule, but I understand why they give it. We cannot say the word no. Whoever comes to us with a complaint, I can't just straight up say no. I have to find something around.
How do you say no without saying no then?
So I got to listen to this person. And this person can be right, wrong, somewhere in the middle. Yes. But if they're asking for something that I should say no to, or I strongly decline, that was one of the things we would say. Well, hold on, wait. How else can we make that work? Well, I want this, I want this to fix this, or I want this. We can't say the word no, but like, all right, if that no is coming, look, here's what I can do. I still didn't say no. Here's what I can do.
That's right. That's right.
And then I will give them whatever solution. Sometimes that solution is, here's a phone number, here's this, whatever. Because at the end of the day, much like you, it is a job. If you don't call this number, or if you don't email this person, that's on you. I gave you every avenue to do what I can't do. But I did not say no. Because the second you say I said no, that's a lie. Because we got Sam. Sam didn't say no. He just gave you another avenue. Yes. Is it inconvenient? Of course. But what you asking me for is inconvenient.
And you're there to work with them because
that's civility.
Your tone determines just about everything. They already have a complaint or problem. And so sometimes, I don't know, I know that y'all can. Mm-hmm. Mr. McCastle, Mr. McLean. Yep. When you're on the phone, you can tell a lot of times if you're talking to a black woman. I can. Sometimes before I get off the phone, I say, have a good day, sister, to kind of chime in and let them know I know I'm talking. And you can tell sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. When I say that, I can tell by their tone, not necessarily, just not always negatively or whatever. I can tell it's a sister. But then when it's a sister and they're bringing that extra, I'm like, oh, man. So this is like whatever was going on outside they brought in, and it's like it's pretty horrible. Because I know kind of where this come from is negative, and that sister doesn't understand. She's at work. Mm. You brought that to work, and just like I've told people different places, it's not like I didn't break into your house. You work here. You know what I'm saying? Because they sometimes like almost sometimes. What do you want? Mm-hmm. What do you want?
Yep.
What do you want? Are you serious?
You call me.
You wouldn't be whatever because they claim that. They want it both ways. I'm not being paid enough to be respectful and be a professional, but I still need a job. I'm like, whoa. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't got nothing to do whatever personal problems that you have. I'm not here to add to your personal problems. Mm-hmm. I can be empathetic, but at the end, I'm a customer. I ain't got nothing to do with what you're dealing with personally. But then on the other hand, if you go to certain places like that same Walgreens, all the time,
you are picking on that Walgreens.
No, I'm just saying. I'm giving that examples of my people in there and somebody seen outside of there. That's another thing too. You never know who you might see outside of the business. You may need them for something, whatever. You don't know what the situation might be. So I always try and chop it up with people. My thing is, just like you always say, welcome to every day, and you might cheer me up. There may be a day where, even though I'm the customer, you having a bad day. I might come in there and be like, well, it'll be okay or whatever. So, or anything to make you feel better because you've done that for me. Is that my job as customer? No, but yeah.